when I'm looking for new music to listen to, I go to this YouTuber that I watch. His name is Sean C. He does music reviews, essentially album reviews, single reviews. Just he goes over a whole bunch of different artists. So I scroll through his YouTube videos and I find somebody who I haven't listened to and I give him a listen. So today I'm checking out Vince Staples. This isn't going to be a whole video in of itself, but I'm going to use this for another video. I started listening to the album yesterday and I really liked what I heard. So I'm going to listen to the rest of it. I hate when the production in a song gets better towards the ending of the song and it's not that good all the way through. Not to say the production on that song wasn't good, because I think it was, but I think it became a lot more interesting towards the end of the song. And I wish it would have stayed like that the entire time. Long before I hit the phase of my life where I downloaded the Common Sense DLC, I used to think that when people would sneeze and somebody would respond to them saying, bless you, it was bless you. I feel like I'm probably not the only one who went through that, but I don't know. I find that incredibly fascinating that I thought bless was a word. Every time I start telling stories, I start to think too hard about the direction the story is going, because I had this idea that when I would start telling stories on YouTube, because this is always something that I wanted to do, they would have like a moral to them, you know, like a point. The point of the story is kind of just to tell the story. So I'm here to tell you another one. Very violent story, as you learn. In my younger years, I mean, I'm not old now, but like, I'm older than I was. Does that make sense? All of my stories in some way, shape, or form are going to involve physical, mental, or emotional violence in one way or another. That's life. I don't know what to say. That's just, it is what it is. Anyway, the reason I titled this video Getting Jumped Part 2 is because, well, I probably didn't title the video that. I definitely titled it something different, but it is a sequel to the time that in Talk and Draw episode 4, I think it was, I told the story about getting jumped elementary school. Yeah, this is the sequel because this was 5 years later in middle school. Now, in middle school, I wasn't exactly involved with the greatest group of people, at least not to start out with, because I got into a lot of shit my 6th and 7th grade year in middle school. It was pretty problematic. So problematic, in fact, to the point that my dad, because he already didn't want me going to the middle school that I was going to, but he told me that if the school was to give me problems or mistreat me, because I went through a lot of scandalous shit with the people in the office, one more time, then I would have gone to the middle school that he was teaching at. And I, in my younger years, was trying to avoid that at all costs, because why would anyone want to go to the same school that their parents work at? My dad is a different type of parent, so, you know, it wouldn't have been that bad, but in middle school it would have been that bad. It's weird being around your family in front of your friends when you're younger anyway. I don't really feel that way now. Obviously there's like an initial bit of nervousness to get over when it comes to introducing your friends to your family, because you don't know how they're going to react to each other. They don't like each other. Like, oh, you can't be friends with this person, and blah 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 blah. It's not like you listen to them, but then that just causes conflict in the household, and it's a whole bunch of it's a handful. We're not talking about it. Anywho, all the fluff and excess stuff out of the way. This story takes place in 6th grade. Now, in 6th grade, I was a lot more outspoken and able to articulate my thoughts in a way that I won't say avoided conflict, but didn't bring it about. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care about anything in middle school. I don't think I thought a single thing ever. I didn't think before I spoke. I didn't think before I acted. I would just do shit. And it got me into a lot of positions that I probably needed to be in, because I don't think I would have changed had I not gone through some of the stuff that I'm explaining to you. In the morning, there was always this like small gap of time where everybody I knew who would be in my first period class would, stand outside the classroom and like talk and crack jokes. People would, get in circles and fucking roast each other. Sometimes there would be people fighting, fucking middle schoolers who were making out with each other at 6 a.m. for whatever reason. Don't ask me why, I don't know, I never knew, still don't know now. And then there was me, who kind of just floated in between all of those different groups, minus the people who were making out, because that's not something that I don't want to be a part of that. Unless I'm the one who... You get what I'm saying? Anyway, I floated in and out all of those groups on different days. Just, depending on my mood, depending on what I wanted to see that day, I would go to that specific group. If I wanted to see somebody get their face smashed in at 6 a.m. and blood spray on the concrete, then I'm gonna go, hang out with the niggas who are fighting. If I want to be a part of a roast session in the back, because I like to avoid getting roasted. I couldn't always. I do have a story about that, because that also turned into a fight. I fought a lot during this period of time. I found myself talking to 3 of, I won't call them my friends, but people that I knew from elementary school before we moved into middle school. We went to the same school beforehand, and we were kind of cool there. So I was just catching up with them, seeing how they were feeling about middle school. Because this is relatively early in the year, so I'm trying to like gauge where everybody else is at on the transition from being like a child to what felt like being an adult at the time. And looking back on it now, that is not even anywhere close to what it was. Shit, I don't even know what it's like to fully be an adult yet now, and I am one. Anywho, so we're there chatting it up, and then somebody else named, well, okay, I'm not gonna actually name drop anybody, because even though I don't conversate with these people anymore, out of respect, I just don't think that's a good idea to give their fucking government names. So we'll call this person Smith. I met this dude named Smith in one of my extracurricular classes, and he was pretty cool, and he would chill with me in the morning because we usually got to school around the same time. So he was talking to me and talking to my friends, and I'm talking to my friends and also talking to him, and it was just a relatively chill time. Then, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. I'm saying his name. There was this dude named Larry. Larry was this tall white kid. You ever seen a white person from Wisconsin? They have like this specifically the men. The women too, some of them, but specifically the men. They have this build, not buff, it's not fat, it's like kind of, I don't know, it's husky. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. He was one of those people. Now, he wasn't from Wisconsin. This nigga grew up out here in California, but it was built like a Wisconsin. So this nigga was big. Also, I was like 3 feet tall in middle school. I forgot to mention that. If I have a picture, I'll put it up on the screen so I can show y'all, but I was really fucking short in middle school, especially in 6th grade, because I didn't hit my growth spurt. I don't even think I had a growth spurt, honestly. I think I kind of just grew, like, I would grow an inch for every grade that I went up as like a reward. Larry pulls up behind me, and I don't notice the nigga because I'm laughing and I'm having a good time. I'm not paying attention to my surroundings, not aware of anything that's going on around me other than what's right there in front of me. So he pulls up behind me. This is perfect, actually. This is perfect. Look at this chair. This chair is about 4 inches shorter than I was. So I'm like probably like right to my chest there. Larry's about 5'8", you know? So this nigga's walking up on me, 6th grade. Comes like this close. Like his waist and stomach area is on my head. Like the nigga was tall. Came up on me, I didn't notice him. And then everybody gets silent. Like nobody's talking anymore. And I'm like, dog, what's going on? Like, y'all good? And then this nigga Larry grabs me like this. So imagine a 3-foot little black kid just out of nowhere being lifted off of the ground at least by a foot, and then you just see legs flailing and arms swinging around in the air, and I'm like, what the fuck going on? Help! And Smith and the other nigga that I was talking to, who remains unnamed because he's not important to the story, except for this next part that I'm about to explain to you, they didn't do anything. These niggas are just there. And then the dude who Smith was talking to, because he brought somebody along with him when he came to like chat it up with me and the people I was talking to, he was like, all right, now it's time to get him. And this nigga, he stands up on me. He goes like this. And then he throws a punch. And that shit, hits me right in my chest. Larry's still holding me, and I'm over here like. And at this point, I just knew that me and Smith in the long run could not be friends because this nigga was not down to help me at all. Like he was not with the shits. Like I'm over here struggling for my life, and then this nigga is standing off to the side. Like, bro, help me! Like, what is? Throw a punch or something. But no, this nigga didn't do a single thing about what was going on. So I was like, okay, there's only one way I'm getting out of this situation. I'm gonna have to fight these niggas, bro. Like, okay, there's three people. There's one standing off to the side who's like, he's taking turns with the nigga who Smith knew that was punching. And this was the person that I knew from elementary school. Like, I thought we was tight, bro. We shared juice boxes. Not like sipping out the same straw or no shit like that, but I've given you a juice box, and you've given me juice boxes. I thought we was homies. But I guess, you know, niggas just switch up in middle school. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. They're over here taking turns swinging at me, and as this nigga is about to swing, I'm like, okay, I can't use my arms because this nigga Larry has me fucking restricted. So I can't really swing far enough to do any real damage to him. So I'll use my feet. So I was like, one of the kicks that I threw landed on homie's jaw, and he was like, oh, what the hell, man? What's wrong with you, fool? And I'm like, yeah, nigga, what? And then, what did I do? I should have done this way sooner, honestly, but like, I don't know, I guess my brain really didn't kick into fight mode until I decided that I was gonna fight. So I bit Larry's arm, bro. Like, I gnawed that shit. You know? I tore that shit up like it was Thanksgiving dinner, nigga. Okay, I'm over exaggerating. I didn't bite it that hard, but I bit him hard enough for his arm to bleed. He was like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then he tried to punch me. I went,
Super Mega Ultimate Blast Final Fantasy Falcon Punch of the 13th Seeker of Night of the Round Table of Darkness.
I socked that nigga in his face. His glasses flew off, and then the other dude who was taking turns punching me with the nigga that I just kicked in the jaw, he didn't want none. He didn't do anything about it. That nigga did not approach me at all. He was just standing there like this, slowly inching away and like lowering his guard. And then I'm standing there like, what? Okay, keep in mind, I'm like this tall, and also my voice does not sound like this, so I'm like, what? In my prepubescent angry voice, I was shouting at these people who were attacking me like, leave me alone! What's wrong with you? What? You gonna run away now? Blah 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 blah. And just talking shit. I don't remember bar for bar what I said, but it was something along the lines of that. At the time, I was also outside of school enrolled in this place called the Boys and Girls Club. It's just an after-school program where kids go to be with other kids and a bunch of like older leadership people who are supposed to be like role models in your young life and a whole bunch of different shit like that. And from there, I knew this dude named, I'll actually name him because we're still cool. His name was Matthew. Now, this fool, he was not your average middle schooler. He was a super middle schooler, super 8th grader to be in fact. And this nigga would come and chat it up with me in the morning too, because like we were cool at the Boys and Girls Club and we were cool in school. You know, you don't switch up on your people. So we were there, we were chilling, and well, I mean, we were not chilling. I just got out of being jumped. I just fought 3 niggas. Well, okay, 2 niggas, because I didn't hit the 3rd nigga because he was scared. That's not the point. He comes over after seeing everything that just went down, and he starts cussing everybody out. Like in my defense, you know, he was like, "This nigga is huge, might I add. He's a solid, like, he's about the same height as Larry. He's like built. That nigga is." So he starts walking up. He's like, and so once he got involved, everybody, the niggas who I ended up punching and kicking were trying to come back in and like go for a round 2, and I was ready for it, quite frankly. Him coming in made them back off because they saw that he was on my side and they didn't want to deal with him. Thank you for that if you ever see this video. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if I would have won, but you definitely prevented me from getting kicked out of school. So thank you. After that, I went down. They dispersed. I shook his hand. I went to class, and that was the second time I got jumped. There's about 2 more stories that are in similar fashion to that, but this is the only one where I came out like completely unscathed. Because the other times, well, I guess we'll talk about those when I make those videos. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here because I feel like I've rambled on a lot, and also I'm thirsty as hell and I need some water. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. Comment if you feel like it. If you don't, it's cool. I appreciate you for watching the video. Peace out.